My name is Levent Yıldızgören. I have been in translation industry for 20 years, doing various things. I'm the managing director of TTC Language Services. I also have a wider interest in translation industry. I serve in the General Council of Association of Translation Companies, and also a corporate member representative of the Institute of Translation and Interpreting. Those are known, I hope to say, well-known organizations, and please, if you get a chance, follow us and connect with us. We'll be only happy to hear from you guys. So, talking about customer satisfaction, can I find out who is in the room, please? Can you show of hands who deals directly with customer service? Excellent. That's great. I think it will be very engaging presentation. Okay. All right. Before I forget, my Twitter name is Yildizgoren, and in case we all got it now. That's the hashtag we're going to use for the ELIA sessions. Now, before I start my presentation, I just like to briefly tell you about the presentation that I did a few weeks ago, and luckily only just I think 2 or 3 people were in that presentation. And over there, I talked about the critical mistakes translation company directors need to avoid. As far as I'm concerned, those critical mistakes will change our mindset. And they are somehow related to what we're going to talk about customer satisfaction. So if you allow me, I'll just briefly show you what those mistakes I talked about are, so that during the presentation there will be a kind of connection to that. So the mistake number 1 that I talked about was ignoring people development. This is development of our employees, basically. And then I talked about ignoring our own development. Now, if we're going to motivate and develop other people, we need to be developed ourselves. And the fact that you guys are here shows that you pay attention to your own self-development. And then the other one was not going social. Is there a company here that allows Facebook usage in their company? Wow, excellent. I think this is so important that it shouldn't be banned, that it should be allowed, but it should be educated. And the 4th mistake was networking and pitching regularly. Pitching is so important that many business owners can't actually explain what they do clearly to someone from outside their industry. We are all from translation industry, so we understand what we are talking about. But people from outside our industry don't understand when we start talking about translation. So pitching is so important. Not using power teams. The biggest obstacle small business owners say, we are too small to employ power teams. Power teams are copywriters, designers, web designers, financial advisors, and they add so much value to our businesses. And there's no excuse for not using them. Not developing intellectual property. We all have intellectual property. We just need to extract it from our companies. And that's maybe the one that blaming the economy for our lack of growth. There is a growth out there, guys. And if our companies are not growing, we really need to go back to those mistakes that we were talking about and the other mistakes that you can mention. There is a growth in translation in the localization industry. So today's content that I want to talk about, so that if I miss anything, you can tell me, you can hold me accountable about this. Generally about customer satisfaction. But to get to the customer satisfaction, there are some stuff that we need to be doing. And those can be a bit mundane, but nevertheless, there is no secret about this. It needs to be done consistently and regularly. So these are the things that I want to talk about. Is that of any interest so far? Excellent.
Will you go through the first 7 things that into more detail or not?
I won't because this is the 7 mistakes that I showed is the ones that as far as I'm concerned, changes our mindset. If you are looking for growth, if you want to grow our companies, you know, we need to have the passion and energy to drive the growth. And avoiding those mistakes fuel that passion and energy. So that's why I wanted to briefly mention them. But if I go over them, this is really another. But I'm happy to, if you leave me your cards, I'm happy to give you the slide decks of that presentation. Yeah, I'll be more than happy. Please leave me your cards, and I'll be happy to do that. And then at the end, we'll do a takeaway checklist, just to see. That may help us to see where we are with the customer care service. According to Wikipedia, the customer service is provision of service to customers before, during, and after purchase. Now, many of us might say that, okay, after-sales customer care is to do with products. How can you provide after-sales service in a service industry? But as far as customer satisfaction is concerned, it is very relevant in service industries as well. So it is something that will make the difference of our customers really satisfied with our services or not. So how do we do this? I'm hoping that by the end of this presentation, we will have some answers. Now, without a doubt, we need to deliver quality translations on time, on budget, in order for our customers to keep coming back to us. That goes without saying. But the key to preventing customers becoming unhappy is focusing on customer service. Leaving linguistic integrity one side, it is the customer service that makes the difference between our customers using this company or another company. Do you come across, when you talk to your customers, do you come across conversations other than projects? When somebody calls you, is it straight away, hello John, I've got 1,000 or 5,000 words, when can you translate it? Thank you very much, goodbye. Is that the type of conversations you're taking place in the company? Sure. And what is stopping you from engaging further with your customers? Time. Somebody said to me, privacy. I said to our customer care manager, I said, how many people, she's getting married. I hope she doesn't mind me talking about this. And she's getting married. I said to her, how many of our customers know you're getting married? She said, only one. Well, I said, why don't you talk about it? It is the most important thing for you. Why don't you share it with your customers? Because customers call you, and if you're not there, they'll ask for you. Abi, can I speak to Abi, please? They'll say, they'll ask for you. So they want to talk to you. They trust you. You're a leader in what you're doing. So why don't you share your most important news for you with them? She said, yes, actually, I should do that because, yes, it is the most important thing for me. And I think we should encourage ourselves and also our staff to do this more often, engage with our customers. I mean, we have we'll be here till Friday night, and some of us will be here Saturday, and chances are that you will remember most. I mean, there's about 100 people. The chances are that the ones that you will remember are the ones that you had coffee with, or had beer, or had a conversation with. Others, you will remember them by face, but you'll definitely be engaging with the ones that you had some interaction. And it is the same with the customers. So we need to encourage, well, starting with ourselves, to talk to customers in, obviously, if we can't force it onto them, but you will know right away if the conversation can go a bit further or not. How do we get to customer satisfaction? Now, what I'd like to talk about is that if we concentrate on delivering benefits to our customers, we will create a customer satisfaction in no time and in a much firmer way. But what is delivering benefits to our customers? How can we focus on that? Because basically, is that for you too? I mean, once we do the translations, we never see even a final product. Is that the way for you? Do you see the final products of? But it's a rare occasion. It is a rare occasion. We've been working on some electronic products for years, and on very few occasions that we have actually seen the final product. And when we saw it, we were saying, yeah, guys, look, that's what we do. And once you see it, it's great because you can see all the photographs, pictures, and so it's an amazing feeling. But we often don't see the final product. So I'm curious half of the time, why do our customers need our translations? Because if we know what they need the translations for, then maybe we can give them some directions. If the translation is required for, sorry guys, if you have any comments, please interrupt me because I can speak like all day, but I don't want to do that seriously because I want engagement really from us. Actually, before we go any further, today is the first day of the conference and we got 2 more days. Does everyone know each other in this room? No. Okay. As I said, delivering, focusing on benefits for the customers is not always easy. Sometimes we'll ask the customers, why do you need the translation for? And some do kind of find this a weird question. You know, why are you asking? Just get on with it. The question is, if we know what the customer are using the translation for, we can do the right service level and even at the right price. Because if it is for internal usage, they don't need a second revision. They don't need a polished version. So, you know, and it does affect the price as well. But in some projects, it won't be possible. We won't be able to get a lot more information from the customer so that we can actually focus on delivery. But nevertheless, it is the mindset. It is so important that we actually focus on that. I'll give you an example, and I'm hoping that it will explain what I mean a bit better. In 2000, Kodak has commissioned a major plant development in China. Kodak, yeah, Kodak. And I mean, it sounds silly now, but in 2000, the plant, the budget was $1 billion US, and it was about developing photographic materials for Kodak. That's in China. Now, the team who managed the project is a major international team. They actually won an award for on-time delivery and exceeding project quality criteria. So they actually won an award. So they were, you know, it's on their website. It still is actually. I've got the link if anyone is interested. They say that we won an award for this project. Woo-ha! What did it do for the customer? Well, they failed to see that digital media was upcoming and the photographic films would be obsolete. So Kodak actually wasted £1 billion. And that was a major disaster. But what I'm trying to get at is the project can be very successful, but may not deliver any benefits to the customer. So it brings a great challenge on companies such as ours. I mean, some companies are large, I know, but a lot of companies are small to medium-sized companies. So it's a difficult thing, and it's not always going to be possible to do that. But if we can do that, then the customer satisfaction will be achieved a lot more easier. And most importantly, our customers will get some better benefit. If a customer is testing a market in a country, they don't need their whole website translated into 10 languages, which may cost them a fortune. So we can advise them for a landing page to test the market, simple Google Ad pay-per-click campaign. Well, maybe we may do less work for that client, but it will prove a lot more beneficial for them, and then we can have a client for life, if there's such a thing. Why customers leave? Can I ask, why do we think the customers leave? Who do you think is the biggest reason is price? Quality? quality. And any other suggestions? Why do customers leave? Why do they?
Full service.
Not the quality of translation, but the quality of service.
Thank you.
The package as a whole, maybe sometimes the sub-services or associated services, like DTP and engineering and stuff like that. They sometimes are a
So
reason.
they are not happy with the service they are getting.
Yeah, maybe not happy, maybe you don't offer it lots of things. They prefer having a whole package rather than going to multiple.
Well, you'll be happy to know that only 9% goes because they find a cheaper price. So the competition gets 9% of the customers. 14% leaves because they are unhappy with the product or service. Isn't that interesting? And 9% leaves because of, because they change jobs, they die, and stuff like that. But it's only 9%. The biggest reason, ready for this? The biggest reason, 68% leave because of perceived indifference. What that means is they are not feeling appreciated or needed. It is conducted in the USA. It is general customer. I should have mentioned that in the first place. It is general consumer behavior. Yes, the translation industry is different, but we can get derive some lessons out of this. So 68% actually changes providers because the company basically don't care whether they do their job or not. There is it needs to be look at it in that light. But nevertheless, feeling customers special is one way to ensure that they keep engaging with us. Some companies that, especially after mergers, it does create a major chaos. And we have our own problems with a telephone provider, service provider, as it happens following their merger. And it is awful. It is awful. But once customers appreciate that, once customers realize that we actually pay attention to them. Now, I'll give you one example. I go to, you may not be surprised with that, but I go to chiropractor once in a while, every month actually. Used to go twice a week, but now it's once in a month. You know what chiropractor is? They like osteopath. They just put your spine into shape and stuff. As soon as I walk into the reception, but not just me, everyone, walk into the receptionist goes, "Hello, Levent, how are you?" And it is the same for everyone. Oops, sorry. And it is the same for everyone. As soon as somebody walks into the reception, they stand up, and it is first name basis. It's not like hi or hello, and sometimes people can't be bothered. They are looking at the screen. They are hello. That's like, why did you come here? We really didn't really want to hear. I've got more interesting stuff going on my screen. So they actually make you made feel special the moment you walk into this reception. And I said to the chiropractor, and the people who work in the reception, they're just receptionists. I said to him, the chiropractor, how do you do this? How do they remember names of all these people? And he said, look, do you want to go to a place where people don't know you? I said, he said, I want to run a company where I know my customers. And so my receptionists need to know them all by name. Now, this is something that has been implemented from top level. So certain things, we can't leave it to just people's assumptions. Well, it says they need to think of this. It doesn't work like that. We can't assume certain things. We need to be proactive and say, well, actually, that's how we treat our customers, first name basis. If somebody calls and they're giggling over the telephone, and I'm thinking, first thing, obviously, being a business owner maybe makes us a bit skeptical. They're talking to their friends, giggling over the phone. It's actually a customer. And that makes me really happy because our project managers actually have conversations and giggle over the telephone with customers. I think that's a great way to engage with them. Okay, I'd like to ask you a question. How can we make our customers feel special? So I strongly believe that we need to have a customer case statement. How do we treat our customers? Now, you might say that, come on, this is a silly question. How do we treat our customers? Of course, we'll treat them as we would like to be treated. Now, there's something wrong with that sentence. Well, I'd like to treat our customers as they would like to be treated. That's basically. And this needs to be on paper. So basically showing how do we want to treat our customers. Like my chiropractor. I want my customers to be greeted with their first names. Not Mr., Mrs., or hello, you, with their first names. So this is in his customer care statement. So we should have a customer care statement and interpret it the same way by everyone in the company. And it should be on the website. If you have a statement, share it. Sorry guys, back of the room don't say much, but is it because you're listening too carefully, or? So please feel free to make any comments. Right, like Mikhail said here, ask feedback after every project. Because, people do forget stuff. And when you send the feedback from 6 months after, and if there's one last project you did wasn't very happy with whatever the reason, then their feedback will be negative. In a funny way, you're my customers. I need to satisfy you with this presentation. So my aim for this, till about this finishes, is for customer satisfaction. So absolutely, if your customers are school children, they could be school children, you still need to please them. If you don't please them, and they won't, they'll go crazy, because, customer is a customer. Doesn't matter who. We need to please them. What we do, we put a signature at the bottom of an email. Please tell us how we did it. Now, often, if people have nothing to complain, they will not open that link. That's often the case. So really, no news is good news, provided that you give them the chance to say something. Now, sometimes we say no news is good news because we don't ask them. Nobody's complaining. Well, because we never asked them. So how did they complain? Unless, obviously, they lost serious amount of money. So no news is good news. I think I totally agree that it should be asked for every single. If they have a problem, they'll come back to you. You can be assured that.
But in another way, they click on the link.
Yes. Sorry, I have to move on, guys. Otherwise, we will never finish this. Yes, send out regular customer satisfaction surveys. It's already been said. Sorry, it's been done. Well, now, I'd like to move on to the 7 mistakes that you need to avoid if you receive a complaint. Now, we are asking feedback, okay? Now, sometimes we will get feedback, and sometimes, guess what? We may not like it. Because we've been asking the customers, feedback, and most of the time, they'll either come back to us if they are very, very happy, or if they are very, very unhappy. But with regular and consistent activity, I think we can find out what they really think of us. Because if they are not very impressed with us, but they are not complaining with us, that means this is a type of client that we can lose very easily. If you remember the perceived indifference, because they are thinking, they are doing my job, but I have no engagement with them, I can't give it to anybody else. It's like, doing my window cleaning. I mean, I can call anyone to do my window cleaning. There's nothing special. But my wife wouldn't, because the guy who comes to do our windows, he'll make jokes and stuff like that. I know that she will not call any other window cleaner. So even mundane jobs like that can make a difference if the customer service is good. So I kind of deviated. But if we ask feedback, we will get answers. And if it's a negative one, what do we do? I think this is the most important one for me, because when customer says, we are very happy with your services, trust me, it doesn't impress me at all. What I really want is unhappy customers. I want to know who is unhappy, because these are the ones that I can do something with. If they are very happy, well, we need to keep doing what we are doing. But as the director of the company, I want to know who is unhappy, because this gives us an opportunity to do something about it. And according to statistics, customers who complain don't necessarily go away. Yeah? Please remember this. If somebody is complaining, they are giving you a chance to correct it. And if you put it right, they'll stay with us. People who do not complain, but not happy, will almost definitely take their business away. You know, so when somebody complains, I say yes, you know, because also it often highlights the weak positions in the company. It could be a project manager having an off day. It could be one of the areas that you're not really well fine-tuned. So it can actually, a complaint can actually do wonders for the company if there are systems in place to evaluate it, to record it, and to go over it, to analyze it properly. Actually, it does give you a lot of opportunities. Mistake number 1 to be avoided. Not dealing promptly. It's not good news. You wanna do quotations. You wanna talk to happy customers. Somebody complains, yeah, they can wait. Now, this is a terrible thing to do. If somebody complains, deal with it promptly, because sooner it is dealt with, quicker the decision, and it will be more positive outcome. This is the terrible one. Somebody complains, yes, I know why they are complaining. They want to get a discount. And that is a horrible feeling. Got my business cards printed by printers, and in my previous life I was in print, so I had some expectations, and it really didn't look really well. So we made a complaint, and the salesperson said after our meeting that we did it because we wanted because we didn't want to pay. And that was a horrible thing to say. I was really upset. Made a complaint. The way I made a complaint to his company about the way he handled my complaint. I mean, how terrible can this be? You're not complaining about you're also complaining about their conduct. And they resolved the complaint. They said, okay, we'll offer you 50% discount. I said, fine. I don't want to, negotiate a discount. 50% fine. But I'll never go back to them again. If he hadn't said these remarks and they offered me 50% discount, I would be happy and I would go back. So really, it needs to be dealt promptly and without assumptions. Not understanding the complaint. Now, to me, this is one of the most important bits. It is about not listening to your customer. The customer is saying something to you, but what are they saying? What are they complaining? Now, this is a lot more critical when we work with other companies in between. They could be other translation agencies. I mean, we work with a lot of translation agencies. Or it could be advertising agencies. It could be graphic designers, web designers. Now, that gets really tricky because they say the customer is not happy with your service. Okay, I wish I was a mind reader. What is it that they are not happy with? Well, it's a terrible translation. Okay, now there's a start. What part of the translation they are not happy with? Don't know. They just don't like it. Okay, how do you move forward? So really, it does take a lot of efforts from our part of and to understand what this is about. We had a complaint, similar lineups, and then when somebody says things like that, you get all passionate, all emotional. Oh my God, I let down my customer, and how could I do that? And all these thoughts are going behind you. And then we realized that the guys were complaining because they were failing the exams, because they were using our translations for an examination, and nobody was passing, and they were blaming the translations. We found it out after few phone calls, asking them to fill few application forms and indicating. Then we actually pinpoint them to the fact that people who took the exam were complaining, blaming someone else. This is another most terrible thing to do, guys. Now, it's a natural instinct. I've seen it, especially with project managers who are new in the business. It's a translator. It's nothing to do with me. You can die on that minute. I wish, please kill me. There's lightning and please kill me now. Or even saying something like this, very innocently, they say, oh, it was another project manager. Doesn't matter what you say. That's not what the customer wants to hear. Because they intentionally or unintentionally, that's blaming somebody else. It could be an innocent word such as, oh, it's not me or something. Basically, customer care complaints, we'll come back to this. But basically, blaming someone else, intentionally or unintentionally, is very, very damaging, because also in companies, it can create a blame culture. If there's a blame culture in the company, it will take years to get over that. Because where there's a blame culture, I know, believe in me, because I worked in one when I was in print, people were, when they were doing any projects, the only thing they were worried was covering themselves. Not the customer, not the company, not the project. It was them covering themselves so that they wouldn't get the blame. Not recording it. We need to record it. If somebody makes a complaint, well, you know, maybe it may give us a lot of, keeping records can give us a lot of feedback, because maybe it's the same thing happening over and over again. Maybe it is the same thing with the same translator, same project manager, whatever. Not learning from your mistakes. Now, if you record it and if you have a customer care procedures, we will learn from our mistakes. But this can also lead us to learn from others' mistakes. Because learning from your mistakes is great, but learning from other people's mistakes is priceless. You know, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. You know, similar industries actually have similar problems. So we can actually learn from others' mistakes. And obviously, not resolving the matter to the customer's satisfaction. You know, finding a sort of a halfway solution, and by the time the customer is fed up anyway, so they'll accept your solution. But that doesn't mean it has been resolved satisfactorily. So it needs to be resolved to the customers. And it is really down to at this point, up to the managing directors or customer service managers to actually make sure that it is actually resolved. And then maybe a phone call. Is this been, yes, it's on the paper, it looks great, but is it actually resolved for you? Is it, you know, are you happy with the outcome? So this is really, really important. Now, the takeaway checklist for customer satisfaction. I've got 7 questions, and I'd like people to write yes or no to the questions, please. Can you do this for me? Just, you know, question number 1. Do you communicate with your customers regularly? Just write yes or no, please. Do your customers know the roles and responsibilities in the company? Who does what? And most importantly here, do they know about, oh, sorry, that's the next one. Do your customers know your payment terms and practices? I've seen perfectly good relationships damaged because of credit control people. You know, do they know that you send statements every month? I had customers coming back to us, why did you send us this statement? They really took it personally. We pay you every month, we've been your customer for 10 years. Why did you send this statement? Well, just to find out if you have received the invoices or not. Ah, okay then. You see, so fortunately they came back to us, but they actually got offended because we sent them a practice. So they need to know what the payment terms and practices are. Sorry, yes or no, if you can write this, please. And do you have a customer care statement on your website, or, but obviously it needs to be on paper and available to the customers. 5, do you ask your customers for regular feedbacks? 6, do you have a customer complaint procedure? Yes or no? 7, do you record and review customer complaints? Yes or no? Has everyone answered? Results. If you get more than 3 no's, has anyone got more than 3 no's? Don't have to say, anyway. Then I suggest that you really start looking into the customer satisfaction bit really seriously. If you have more than 3 no's. I mean, you don't have to share with us, but something for you to know. If you get more than 3 yes of the 7 questions, then you're on the right track. But keep working at it, please. If you get only 1 yes, then a major problem is about to happen sooner or later, but it will happen, trust me. If you get 5 or more yeses, then you should have done this presentation. Right, guys, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.